Sports. We are La Force. We are Minnesota.
Murky and cool, cloudy fall baseball in full flavor in downtown Minneapolis as the fans file the target field for the rubber game between the Tigers and the Twins. Minnesota tries to win another series here at Target Field. Last night they won a ball game by scoring 11 runs, and the offense was provided by the bottom of the order. Hitters 6 through 9, red hot in Paul Molitor's lineup. They went 8 for 16. They scored 5 runs, and they drove in 5 runs. That was the difference in that 7-run win for Minnesota. Welcome inside Target Field. Twins again try to win a series and try to do it with some of those role players, some of those younger players. Williams Astudillo, the guy they call La Tortuga, has been quite the story. He's always hitting the ball. He's always doing something to help his team. He was a part of that last night with 3 hits in 5 at-bats. In his last 13, though, the numbers are outstanding. Batting .408, couple of home runs, 11 RBIs. He's a character off the field. He's been a hero on the field. He went to the clubhouse today, talked to his teammates about what makes Willens such a fun player to be around.
He's real fun to play with, always trying to learn too. And that's a big thing, especially as like a battery mate. We're always discussing between innings and things, so it's serious and fun at the same time, and that's how we played. That's how we played the game when we were kids or when we were in high school. And he brings that. Sometimes you need to just not take it so seriously.
Oh, this guy always has something special to make you laughing, and always fun watching him play, and what he do in the field is amazing.
He's a very fun-loving guy. I mean, he's out here having fun, you know, getting his opportunity, and he's definitely taking advantage of it. And it's really cool to see, and it's cool to be a part of.
When we come back, Joe Mauer, one of his favorite foes, the Detroit Tigers. Is this the final time he sees the Tigers? Dick Bramer, Burt Blyleven with the matchup and the memories for Joe Mauer.
Presented by CenturyLink, connecting you to the power of the digital world. By Sanford Orthopedics and Sports Medicine, for the everyday competitor in all of us. And by Northland Ford. Visit buyfordnow.com and your local Northland Ford dealer today.
For one last time, it'll be the Minnesota Twins hosting the Detroit Tigers. The Twins have a chance to win this series 2-1. It wasn't that long ago. Francisco Liriano was one of the top left-handers in the league pitching for the Minnesota Twins. He'll make the start tonight for Detroit. And Gabriel Moya will be making his 4th opening appearance in the last week and a half for the Twins against the Detroit Tigers. And we welcome you to Target Field. Dick Bramer along with Bert Blyleven. Of course, the sub-story throughout this homestand is whether it's Joe Mauer's last season in a Minnesota Twins uniform. Most of us hope that it is not. But if it is, he's going out on a high note.
Yeah, it really is. I mean, Joe Mauer, what can we not say about Joe Mauer that hasn't been said already? But Joe Mauer, you look how he's trying to end it, if it is an end, over the last 12 ball games, hitting .348, scoring some runs, driving in some runs. This guy is just a great athlete. He's been a great representative for the Minnesota Twins. And against the Detroit Tigers, is this his last game against the Tigers? Well, look where he ranks all time. The games played, the hits, the doubles, the walks, the runs batted in. He's done it all.
And he's been a key bat in the middle of the Twins lineup for a long time, and he'll have one more chance to terrorize the Detroit Tigers. The Twins want to win their final 2 series at home. They need to win tonight against an old friend, Francisco Liriano, to win this series against the Tigers. finish cool. Game 3 between the Twins and the Tigers. Tigers won the first game. Twins won last night. And the Twins hope to pick up their 12th win this year against Detroit. And as we've been doing the math for you, if the Twins win this series by winning tonight's game and win the Chicago series by winning at least 3 games, that's at least 77 wins on the year. And Joe Mauer might be playing his last games as a big leaguer. Joe has said that he wants to separate himself from the grind of playing with some time to maybe think with a clearer head, if that's the right phrase. Distance himself from the grind a little bit and have some time to think about it to see whether he wants to come back or not. And I think I was correct in saying just about everybody wants him to come back. He's been such a great representative for the Twins organization.
Yeah, a huge asset to the organization. What he's meant by his personality, what he's done between the lines, but most importantly off the field.
This is really odd. I mean, the whole concept of an opener is a bit peculiar still to most people. But Moya in the last week and a half has started, opened 4 times against the Tigers. And in each case, he's done a good job, giving up just a hit or a walk, but not a run. And so
his 6th opener overall.
Tiger batting order as posted by manager Ron Gardenhire. Jeimer Candelario leading things off. And then Christian Stewart, Nicholas Castellanos, Nico Goodrum, Mikey Matuk, Grayson Griner doing the catching, Jacoby Jones, Dawel Lugo, and Pete Kozma.
Let's take a look at tonight's opening pitcher. Stats are brought to you by Home Furniture. Moya, who worked here, he started basically the game or opened the game here on Tuesday night by pitching a shutout inning. He had a little control issues. He had threw 21 pitches, 9 for strikes, but able to work out of that inning.
Let's take a look at the Twins out in the field. Max Kepler getting center field, flanked by Johnny Field, and Robbie Grossman. In the infield, Gregorio Petit, Jorge Polanco, Logan Forsythe, and Joe Mauer. And Williams Astudillo will do the catching. He was the third baseman in last night's game. And now doing the catching. And the leadoff man is Jeimer Candelario. Candelario drew a leadoff walk against Moya 2 nights ago, and then, as Bert said, Moya ended up throwing more pitches than he would have liked, but they didn't get hit, didn't get a run, and he's done a real good job as the opener in that regard. And now time called for some reason.
Well, I think they're just closing the gate. There are so many people singing the national anthem out in center field. A little delay, but I think the field is ready.
And we are as well. Candelario, Stewart, and Castellanos here in the Detroit first inning. And that hits the outside corner.
And again, if you had not seen Moya pitch before, basically a relief pitcher. Now the Twins and other ball clubs use relievers as openers. Moya, fastball, not overpowering, excellent changeup, and then the breaking ball.
Changeup for a strike, and it's 0-2. Talked to Moya yesterday about this, and he said it really hasn't been an adjustment for him because mentally he's just pitching an inning, as he was asked to do later in the ball game. And whether it's the 6th inning or the 7th inning, his job is to get 3 outs. And so far he's done a real good job of that. Now, I'm not sure what happened. Moya broke towards home plate, and then Candelario patting himself on the chest.
Well,
he'd asked for time.
Yeah, I think he called time. So Candelario asking for time right there, but the umpire doesn't give it to you. You have to be ready to hit, which he put his hand back on the bat.
Moya stopped his delivery, even though I don't think the home plate umpire granted timeout. But Candelario asked for it. 2 strikes. Candelario, a switch hitter, has been much better right-handed than left-handed. An awkward swing and a foul.
Yeah, Moya making his 6th opener. And you know, only one time he was asked to go more than 1 inning, and that was against the Kansas City Royals in KC. He went 2 shutout innings. He was the first opener used by the Twins when the Twins were in Texas against the Rangers.
And just stuck the bat out and got a base hit. With 2 strikes, Candelario rolls a base hit into right field.
You know, we saw that in last night's ballgame. A lot of the young hitters for Detroit did exactly that. I believe Rodriguez got a base hit the other way.
Lugo, I think, did it once
Lugo
or twice.
did it, right.
Leadoff man on, and now Kristen Stewart. Stewart getting a chance to get some play in left field. Offensively, the numbers not very good.
Well, just getting his feet wet. This young man, Tigers' #1 pick just 3 years ago out of the University of Tennessee. So he had a good year down at AAA. They want to see what he brings up here. This little bit of experience is good for him over the winter. What he needs to do to maybe make the ball club next year. Hit well down in AAA with power. 23 home runs.
But in again, 2-0. I think teams are more and more likely to do that because of what some very young players, the impact that they've had. Ronald Acuna Jr. with the Braves, Juan Soto of the Washington Nationals, young guys that weren't counted on to be as productive as they've been, and they come right up here and play it like it's a game they've been playing their entire lives. There's a strike, 2-1.
Now Stewart only 24 years old, born in Atlanta, Georgia. And Moya only 23 years old. September call up last year.
Base hit to right. Candelario round second, and he's going to try for third. Here's the throw from Grossman, coming through but not in time. First and third, nobody out for Nicholas Castellanos.
Well, the Detroit Tigers find themselves 30 games under 500. You can't put the blame on this guy right here. My goodness.
Tonight's Indeed player resume concentrates on Castellanos and his strong finish. What he's done as of late. 369 in the month of September, 31 hits. And an OPS of over 1,000. And a chance to do some first inning damage. Right now the batting average at 300. And Moya falls behind 1-0. Got ahead of Candelario and then gave up the base hit. And pitched from behind through the Stewart at bat.
Pretty good numbers right there with not a lot of protection around him.
Now 2-0. Astudillo will burn a mound visit here in the first inning. Moya with his last 4 openings against the Tigers had given up in 3 innings, 2 hits and a walk. Now the Tigers have opened this opening with back-to-back base hits. Bounced foul. 2-1. Eventually the Twins hand the ball to Steven Gonsalves tonight. And it's the last time they'll use this format pitching wise this year, going with the conventional starting pitcher throughout the Chicago series. Barrios, DeYoung, Gibson and Littell will make the starts for the Twins.
only time Moya has given up any runs was in that start against the Texas Rangers, where he pitched 1 inning, gave up a couple runs, and Twins ended up losing that ball game 18-4.
Popped up center field. Kepler coming in and pitching it back on his heels, and that'll allow Candelario to tag and score from third base, 1-0.
Castellanos picking up his 88th run batted in. Yeah, ball too deep for Kepler really to do what he did. Basically catch the ball for the first out. Had no chance to get the runner at home.
That'll bring up Nico Goodrum. I asked Paul Molitor today, I said, have you seen enough of this format, the opening pitcher format, to project it forward into next year? And he said, well, it'll depend on what happens in the off season. Driven to right, line drive caught by Grossman, 2-away. Who the Twins signed? Remember, the Twins ended last year, and no one imagined that they would end up with Janko Odorizzi and Lance Lynn in their rotation. And lo and behold, they ended up bringing in a couple of veteran pitchers. And if the Twins do that again, you wouldn't expect them to start the year with an opener. Grover Loudermilk, you remember him?
No, I missed him.
I think he was a former World War I fighter pilot. Two down. Here's Mikey Matuk. So if Clayton Kershaw opts out of his contract and the Twins sign him, Kershaw might be a part of the Twins rotation next year.
Yeah, you think they'll use him as an opener?
No, they won't use an opener in front of Kershaw.
Okay. Well, hopefully these are just little baby steps for Stewart and Gonzalez, who's the primary here today. So next year, if they are in a rotation, they could be starters rather than the primary.
0-2 now to Matuk. Stewart, who singled, still at first base.
There's Oliver Drake just in case.
In case Moya can't finish the first inning, we expect Gonsalves to be the next pitcher starting in the second.
Saw Alan Buznitz a couple times get up when Moya pitches the first inning. Mainly because of the pitch count.
The foul back. Moya in his opening 2 nights ago against the Tigers, as you said, struggled with his control. No such issues here tonight. 17 pitches, a dozen strikes. Down and away. Under Wendell Stent calling balls and strikes.
A couple fastballs, then he tried the changeup, but missed low.
And another foul back. Moya again on 1-2 to Matuk. Runner goes and the pitch chopped foul again. Moya's been stingy in giving up runs. Liriano's been given some early run support, but just 1 run isn't bad. Where the Twins have run into trouble, as you said, when Moya gave up a couple to the Rangers in the first inning, and when Trevor May gave up 4 to the Astros facing Justin Verlander. And Matuk doesn't want to be struck out and refuses to do that.
7 pitches so far in this at-bat from Mikey Machtuk. Machtuk, 28 years old, up and down. He started the season with the Tigers, then sent back down 4 different stints, and recalled and finally stayed with him in the middle of August. Kind of had the sophomore jinx this year for Machtuk. Last year in his rookie season, did pretty well, really, in his first full season with the Tigers. Hit 276, 12 home runs. But this year he comes into this at bat hitting only 209.
Fastball zipped inside, missing 2-2. Now you're looking at the 23rd pitch this inning for Moya.
Again here on Tuesday night, 21 pitches, only 9 strikes. He has 15 strikes at the 22.
Now 3-2, and you wonder whether, if Moya loses Machtuk, whether we might not see Oliver Drake pitch to Grayson Greiner.
Joe Mauer will hold on Stewart at first base.
Runner goes, and the pitch tapped to third. Firing across is Petit on target, and that ends the first inning. The Tigers finally score against Gabriel Moya. Themselves behind 1-0. The Menards batting order has Bauer, followed by Polanco and Forsythe, then Grossman, Austin, the DH, Astudillo, then Kepler, Field, and Petit.
And tonight's starting pitcher stats are brought to you by Home Furniture, and that's Francisco Liriano. Of course, the Twins know all about Liriano. He pitched for him from 2005 to 2006, and then he had the Tommy John surgery and pitched 5 more years in a Twins uniform. Made the All-Star team for the Twins back in 2006, and also was the American League Comeback Player of the Year in 2010 for the Twins.
Tigers out in the field, brought to you by Northland Ford. Stewart, Jones, and Machtuk across the outfield. Candelario, Cosmo, Lugo, Goodrum, the infielders, and Grayson Greiner behind the plate. The Tigers starting their 3rd different shortstop in this series. First Castro, then Rodriguez, and tonight Cosmo. Outside to Bauer, ball 1.
And we know Liriano has a good moving fastball, hard slider, and a very good changeup, making his 300th major league start here tonight.
And 2-0. And And when he's had his command and has an elevated strike percentage, he can still be pretty good. Run into some trouble at times with his control.
We showed you the number 71 walks in 131 innings pitched.
Fouled back.
And Joe swinging at that fastball.
Faced the Twins here in the middle of August and didn't have his control. Gave up 3 walks, 5 hits, 8 runs, 4 of them earned. It was his shortest outing of the year. That's to the left field corner. Stewart leaps and makes a tremendous catch in the corner. Kristen Stewart with a leap and a lunge and a great catch to take a hit away from Mauer.
Wow, very nice catch by the young man right there. Of course, they shade Joe a little bit toward that left field line, but boy, he made a nice reaction catch right at the end. Watch him leap right there. Very, very nice catch.
One down, and now Jorge Polanco. And strike. Swung on and missed 0-2.
Liriano, 34 years old now. He's pitched for 6 different major league teams. Signed in late February a 1-year contract as a free agent with the Tigers.
Kind of surprised that he's still with the Tigers. I thought a contending team, if not as a starter, would be interested in Liriano perhaps as a relief pitcher.
I think the biggest thing is the control. It's not as, you know, he's like we talked about, just get the ball over the plate. He's going to pick up some strikeouts, what he did right there to Polanco, but he's very erratic.
Change up getting Polanco for out number 2.
He's always had a very good changeup. When he and Johan Santana were together, boy, they were nasty.
2 down, and now Logan Forsythe. Still some velocity there. Twins fans may remember in 06 it was generally a 94-mile-per-hour fastball. That one clocked at 92. And now inside 1-1.
Well, he's done always a good job of getting over that pitching rubber and then utilizing the rubber. There's Gonzalez getting loose for the 2nd inning. And the drive that he can generate toward home plate.
2-1.
I know a lot of pitching coaches have tried to change his delivery because of the way that he's so violent out on that mound, but and one thing he's always done, you see him now working off the third base side of the pitching rubber. When a left-hander like Joe Mauer came up, he'll work off the first base side. He's one pitcher that will work both sides of the pitching rubber. Why? Angles toward that hitter, working the inside part of the plate, and then running fastball away plus a changeup. Liriano's won 107 ball games. He's lost 110. Again, being his 300th major league start.
Pulled on the ground right to Candelario. And that wraps up the first inning. Tigers, first inning lead, 1-0.
1-0. Time for our clubhouse scoop. We'll start with Miguel Sano. There was hope as recent as a couple days ago that we might get the chance to see him here on this final homestand. That is not going to happen. Paul Mauder said he just doesn't feel physically right now, and there's no reason to push him back, so we do not believe we will see Sano on this homestand. And Chris Jimenez talking in the clubhouse today about playing each game like it's the first week of the season, setting the tone, veteran players trying to teach these young guys what it means to put that uniform on and respecting the game, and Twins doing just that last night with that big emphatic 11-4 win. And Bronco Mania, Taylor Rogers, guys, lives in the Denver area in the offseason. Huge Denver Bronco fan. We may see him lock this game down late, but we will see him in Denver at that football game Monday night as they take on one of their old rivals, the Kansas City Chiefs. Taylor Rogers very excited to watch his favorite football team on Monday Night Football in person.
Well, thank you, Kevin. Steven Gonsalves is in the game, pitching to Grayson Greiner. Got ahead 0-2 and then missed. The last two games have been breakthrough games. At least the Twins are hoping they've been breakthrough games for Gonsalves. He's been outstanding.
Well, especially his last one. He picked up his first major league win against the Tigers. This is his third primary outing.
Ooh, just missed the outside corner with a changeup.
And 7th game overall. Made 4 starts.
The issue has been control, and now he's walked the first batter he faces, Grayson Greiner.
Well, one thing we have noticed in the first 4 starts were not what they expected out of Gonsalves, but the last couple as a primary, look at that, no runs allowed in 9 innings. For as a starter, total of 12 1/3 innings, 16 earned runs.
That's our DQ combination.
Now, he only had 1 walk in his last outing in Detroit in the 6 innings, and he only allowed 1 hit.
Jacoby Jones will bat. Jones, the only Tiger to get a hit against him at Comerica Park. Also drew a walk. He's the only guy who got on base against Gonsalves. And now missing again. First 10 innings, 10 walks. And 7 walks in the next 5 1/3 innings. Just 1 walk the last time up, and now a strike to Jones. Back-to-back walks. Moya gave up back-to-back singles, and now back-to-back walks from the primary pitcher.
Well, that's 20 walks now in 21 1/3 innings pitched.
Dawel Lugo, second trip to the mound, 1 used in Moya's inning, and now another one here with Forsythe coming in to talk to Gonsalves. And even though they're not meeting on the mound, it's considered a mound visit. Down toward the bottom of the Tiger order, so we're wondering whether Lugo might be asked to bunt here. Mauer and Petit about even with the bases right now. First pitch strike.
Did not show bunt there. Lugo does not have a sacrifice. Playing in just his 24th game for the Tigers this year.
Swing, but strike 2. Cutter or slider knifing into the right-handed batter. And Lugo nearly got hit by the pitch. 0-2. And a foul. Twins have already clinched season series win. Right now the season series at 11-7 in favor of the Twins. It's punched down the right field line. It'll twist foul into the seats.
That's a curveball right there. The other two down and in, the hard slider. Gonzalez, just 24 years old, signed by the Twins in 2013. Cathedral Catholic High School out of San Diego, California.
And now upstairs again. So last night, Jake Odorizzi struggled with his control, leaving a lot of pitches high, and that's kind of what we've seen from Gonzalez here too so far, his outing tonight. Pete Kozma in the on-deck circle. That's chipped to right. That'll die for a base hit, and they'll be loaded up. Gonzalez got ahead of Lugo, and as he did last night, he just punched the ball to the right field, got another base hit. They're loaded up.
Yeah, softly hit, but in the right spot. Lugo picked up a couple hits in last night's ball game, as you mentioned. Right there, slider. This went down, made contact. And Grossman comes in, and of course the runners kind of had to hold. Bases are loaded, nobody out.
Kozma, the number 9 batter. Corner infielders up, middle infielders back. They'd love to get a ground ball hit at somebody. They're strike one. 2 ground ball double plays while Gonzalez has been on the mound, but as you may have noted, there have been a lot of base runners out there, as there are now. Missing, and it's 1-1. 19 pitches, just 9 strikes. It's September, and the Twins have a lot of arms out there available to them, but there is a doubleheader tomorrow, and you'd like your primary pitcher or your starter, whichever, to give you some innings.
Right, and the bullpen last night had to pitch 6 innings.
Right. Driven foul, and it's 1-2.
6 shutout innings at that. Kozma in his first season in the Tiger organization. He came up with the Cardinals, spent 4 years there, a little bit with the Yankees and the Rangers. The Tigers have been doing well, as you see, with runners in scoring position as of late.
Got him. Astudillo hung on to the foul tip eventually, and it's a big strikeout, 1 away. That'll bring up Candelario.
Well, he went with the fastball. Kozma just swung through it, got a piece of it right into the glove of Astudillo.
And now Candelario, who singled and scored his first time up. Missing inside, ball 1. And as was with the case with Odorizzi last night, it seems to be control of the fastball that's given Gonzalez the biggest issue.
Candelario is a better right-handed hitter than left. More power from the left, but comes into this at bat or this game hitting .286 as a right-handed hitter. Got a base hit his first at bat against Moya.
Now low. 3-0, no place to put him. Candelario over 500 at bats and only 4 ground ball double plays. Now Gonzalez has got to throw a strike. And there's the strike, 3-1. To the left field corner, and a foul ball. just a strike, and a much needed strike at that. Now it's 3-2.
He got away with one right there.
Stewart on deck. Full count to Candelario. Slowed down. Stepping on the bag, they'll only get one. Gonsalves knocked down the line drive, and it dribbled to Polanco. They get the force at second for out number 2.
Probably saved a run right there too, because that ball was hit sharply up the middle. May have scored 2 runs rather than just 1. Well, Candelario picks up an RBI, his 54th on the fielder's choice. Take a look at his ball go right back up the middle, off the tip of the glove, slowed it down. Polanco steps on second for the force out.
Two down, runners on the corners, and if Gonsalves can get out of this inning with just 1 run allowed, there's a strike on the outside corner.
Did a good job at damage
It
control.
would be a victory after back-to-back walks started the inning. 1 strike to Stewart. Missed inside.
You can see 30 pitches already here in his first inning of work.
Split evenly between balls and strikes. Three and one. There's a base open, but it's second base. And Tigers' best hitter, Castellanos, is on deck. A little doink, and that'll fall for a hit. And it's 3-0 Detroit. Well, the hits have been soft hits, but the control has been the biggest issue for Gonsalves. He's given up a flare to right and now a flare to left.
Yeah, Lugo hit it off kind of the end of the bat right there. It looked like Stewart got jammed a little bit and fought it off, but it's a fastball situation because Gonsalves fell behind in the count to almost every hitter. So a fastball. See Stewart inside out swing. Picks up an RBI, his 10th of the year.
Second hit of the night, and now here is Castellanos. High fastball gets a swing and a miss. So far in the inning, 2 hits, 2 walks, and 2 runs. Back 2 strikes. For Drake getting loose, perhaps coming on in relief of Gonsalves instead of Moya. He was warming up in the first inning when Moya got off to a rough start. 2 strikes to Castellanos. Laid off the high fastball.
You know, 2 outings ago, he pitched those 3 shutout innings against the Royals, but he threw 69 pitches in those 3 innings.
And walked 4. One and 2. And he strikes out Castellanos and gives up a couple of runs. It's 3-0 Detroit. the second for the Twins. Our Sanford Health Injury Report. Rest of the regular season is out for Dansby Swanson. Second time he's had this type of an injury. And Swanson, the great shortstop, young shortstop for the Braves, they hope will be ready to go come playoff time. But the first time he had this type of an injury, he missed a couple of weeks. So, you know, sometimes every team's going to deal with injuries, but the contending teams dealing with injuries late in the season can be obviously a huge factor in the postseason. You looked at what the Twins situation was last year, and if they'd had a healthy, productive Miguel Sano, if Buxton hadn't had to leave the game in the third or fourth inning at Yankee Stadium last year, that wild card game could have turned out differently. The Braves, of course, are going in as division champions, so they'll play more than a wild card game. They'll have a series to contend with, and they hope that Swanson will be able to help, if not at the beginning of the series, towards the end. 1-2, and now 2-2 to Grossman. Austin and Astudillo will follow. Some great series, including the Dodgers at the Giants. These Tigers go to Milwaukee. The Cardinals are playing at the Cubs. Washington at Colorado. Check swing foul. It's going to be a wonderful watch this weekend for baseball fans on the National League side. It's all but decided in the American League side with the Yankees winning today. They've got a 2-game lead and the tiebreaker over Oakland in the wild card game.
So they will have home field advantage.
Almost certainly. Here's a ball driven to right, and Grossman drops a single into right field, leading off the second inning.
Let's take a look at our Pizza Ranch for the win. Continue the hot hitting. They're going to have to do what they did last night, score a lot of runs. Twins already down 3-0. Last night's ball game, Twins ended up winning 11-4. They got 14 hits and 3 home runs, one by this guy right here, Tyler Austin.
And then in his next at bat, he reacted like he injured his hand or wrist, and I checked with him before the game. He said everything was fine today, and everything was fine after the one swing that produced the
stinger.
Well, yeah, I don't know how else to describe it. And he said he felt it from the middle of his forearm all the way down to his fingertips, but by his next at bat, everything was fine. And a pitch called a strike again, 0-2. And I asked him about his bat. We got a nice close-up last night. He swings essentially a knobless bat, and it's not to protect the hamate bone at all. It's just a handle of the bat that he feels comfortable with. 0-2 to Austin. And now down and away.
Yeah, Austin 1 for 2 in his career against Liriano, and he only hit a home run, a 2-run home run.
High fastball got him on away.
Liriano picks up his second strikeout.
Today's BP Brighter Picture shines the spotlight on Williams Astudillo, who's become kind of a cult figure here in Twins territory, mainly because of his hitting, because he's been doing a good job of that.
I think it's personality too.
Yeah.
You know, in the clubhouse, there's a lot of positive things about this young man.
Strike over the inside corner. Was involved in a curious play last night. Twins had runners at first and second, nobody out. And Paul Molitor, according to Paul, just the second time he's ever had a hit and run on, sending runners from first and second, just the second time he's done that in his managerial career. And it almost blew up in his face because it should have been a triple play with Astudillo hitting a line drive to Lugo. Tigers kind of blew the opportunity. The Twins went on to score 5 runs. Rodriguez didn't have the bag engaged when he caught the throw.
I guess what's so impressive about this young man right here, 80 at-bats He struck out only 2 times. He's walked only once. So he's up there ready to look for that baseball and hit it somewhere.
Active swing, we think. Strike 3, says first base umpire David Rackley. So Astudillo has just done something uncommon for him. He struck out.
Only the 3rd time in 81 at-bats. Nasty slider down and in. Of course, Liriano has that strikeout slider. You saw where it landed, right next to home plate. So Liriano picking up his 3rd strikeout.
Here's Kepler. And a strike. That's making contact there. 1 strikeout, 56 plate appearances. And Kepler takes upstairs 1-1.
One thing Liriano trying to do is finish the season strong. Coming into this outing right here, his last 3 starts, 1 and 2, but total of 19 innings, only 4 earned runs allowed.
Ooh, where'd that pitch? That looked like that was right there. It was outside. That's why they called it a ball.
Now with Kepler up, you see Liriano working off now the first base side of the pitching rubber. Not too many pitchers do that. Move from one side to the other, depending on who the hitter is. If it's a righty or a lefty.
And the dirt smothered by Griner. Twins over the years under Ron Gardenhire's tenure had a lot of playoff teams. Some people say that they had a team built for the regular season, but that 06 team was built for the postseason when Liriano was healthy. Before he got hurt, that team was ready, I think, to do some damage on the postseason. Kepler strikes out to end the inning. We'll talk more about that in the 3rd, with the Tigers still leading 3-0.
Baseball presented by T-Mobile. It wasn't easy for the Cubs last night, but they got the walk-off single from Albert Almora Jr. after blowing a 6-1 lead after 4 innings and a 6-4 lead in the 9th. They hang on, guys, to a half-game lead over the Brewers, who are red hot as we come down the stretch and who will host these Tigers this weekend in Milwaukee. What a finish it's going to be, but the Cubs get a huge win last night, and tonight they're up 2-0 in the 3rd.
Yeah, the final game of that series against the Pirates. Nico Goodrum leading off against Gonsalves, and he beats one foul. Rockies beat the Phillies this afternoon 5-3. Chopped towards Mauer, blocks it, feeds Gonsalves, who just barely got a very close play, but Gonsalves was there.
Gonsalves a little late getting over right there, only because a lot of times left-handers, your momentum will go toward that third baseline. But good job by Joe Mauer right there. The ball came up on him, and watch Joe. You see that catcher-type instinct. Keep that ball in front of you. And a quick flip to Gonsalves, and he just steps up. Whoa.
Tigers may challenge that.
Yeah.
And they're going to call Goodrum back to the dugout. It looked on replay that Goodrum did beat Gonsalves' foot to the bag, but with a 3-0 lead, just the third inning, Tigers won't risk losing their challenge. Now grounded hard but foul, a strike to Mato. Anyway, the Rockies now with a 5-3 win this afternoon have a 1-game lead over the Dodgers in the National League West with 3 games to play. The Dodgers have that series with the Giants.
And you know the Giants would love.
Oh yes.
They would love to knock the Dodgers out of postseason. Yeah, the Rockies with that win, they've won 7 in a row now.
And with the loss, the Phillies will not have a winning record this year. That was their 81st loss of the year. 1-2 to Matuk. Had a long battle with Moya. Finally hit a ground ball to end the first inning. Waiting, a tapper to third. Petit flips on the run. Strong throw. 2 down. And that'll bring up Griner. Joe Mauer and the Twins wrap up the series, a 4-game series. We've got a split doubleheader tomorrow. Night game Saturday and an afternoon game on Sunday. It's also Fan Appreciation Weekend presented by Caribou Coffee, as the first 30,000 fans get a Twin stocking cap on Friday and Saturday nights. Sunday it's Kids Appreciation Day, and the first 10,000 kids 12 and under get a TC Trapper cap. Get your tickets at twinsbaseball.com.
That's a nice play by the veteran Petit right there. He's kind of like Adrian, so you can almost play him anywhere on the field. Tonight, starting at third base.
Hit into the shift.
That ball had some spin on it.
Forsythe stayed with it, threw out Griner, and a much better second inning for Gonsalves, the third inning of the game. The Twins honored Victor Martinez. Joe Mauer embracing Martinez, who was a catcher, of course, before his days evolved into being a designated hitter. Derek Shelton also out there. Twins wanted to give him something Minnesota, so they gave him a nice pair of Red Wing customized boots. And here's a look at his 16 seasons. And what a great career he had.
Yeah, he really did. Started with the Indians back in 2002, spent 7 years there, a couple with the Boston Red Sox, and then 7 with the Detroit Tigers. 5-time All-Star, Victor Martinez.
He decided, or the Tigers helped him decide, to not be available, play his last game last weekend in Detroit. He's with the team, but he won't play here and won't play in Milwaukee. And that's the only thing about that that is a little. Those games in Milwaukee are important to the Brewers and the Cubs. And Victor Martinez, as much as the Tigers have struggled, couldn't DH, of course, but he could pinch hit. A fly ball to center field. Jones over a few steps, one away. And that'll bring up Petit.
Yeah, Johnny Field, the first out. He had quite a night last night. A couple home runs in the ball game. A solo in his first at bat, and then a 2-run in the 4th inning. First time he'd hit 2 home runs in a major league game.
Here's Petit. Again, Liriano, being left-handed, has kept A-Ray Adrianza on the bench. It's still giving Adrianza some pain, swinging from the right side with the left shoulder. Last night, Astudillo got third base. Tonight it's Petit, and Paul Molitor saying it's becoming increasingly unlikely that Miguel Sano will get back on the field and play anymore this year. 1-2. Been a good first turn through the batting order for Liriano. Just 1 hit off the bat of Grossman and 4 strikeouts. Inside, 2-2. When the Twins faced Liriano here back in the middle of August, Polanco hit a 3-run home run. Sano hit a 2-run home run. Forsythe drove in 2 with a double, and Liriano was gone before the 2nd inning was done. Crack to left field. Stewart chasing this one. He won't get this one. It goes to the wall. Petit digging for second base, and he's got a double with 1 out.
That looked like Liriano left the pitch up, and Petit pulling that ball for his 2nd double in a Twins uniform. So he gets into scoring position with 1 out.
Stewart made a great catch on Mauer's drive in the bottom of the 1st inning.
Ball left about belt high at 93 miles an hour.
Talking about the 2006 Twins and how that team, more than any other since 1991, seemed built for the postseason. Had a league MVP in Justin Morneau. And as we've said many times, that when Liriano was going so well in the rotation, the eventual Cy Young Award winner that year, Johan Santana, was the 2nd best lefty on the pitching staff. That's how good Liriano was.
And Joe Mauer that year won his first batting title.
So it looked for all the world like this team was poised to get into the postseason, and they did as a division champion.
They hit 287 as a ball club. 287.
And again, you had the league MVP. Players like Michael Kadire, who emerged that year. A couple of guys hit 30 home runs. Morneau hit 34. Torrey Hunter hit 31.
That was the year that they brought Shannon over from the Toronto Blue Jays.
Now, I believe that was the year before. He was on that team.
You're right. In 2005 they did.
But then Liriano went down, and the Twins ended up going into the postseason with a rotation of Santana, Booth, Bonser, and a broken Brad Radke. He had a stress reaction in his shoulder, and Bonser pitched very well in game 2, just a couple of runs in 6 innings, and the A's teed off on Radke in game 3, and that was all she wrote. 3-1 to Mauer. Twins trying to build an inning here in the third. Down the line again, Stewart won't get this one, and it's fair. It is a double, and Mauer hit that one just as hard as he hit the one in the first inning, just at a sharper angle down the line.
Yeah, I think he hit this one harder. He's going to say, okay, you make a great catch against me, try to catch this one. That ball maybe a foot fair. Oh, he smoked this ball the other way. Fastball away. You see Joe's react. I'm just going to hit it that way, which he did very sharply. And almost on the chalk line. Bounces into the stands. Ground rule double, so a little double-double. Puts the Twins on the board.
Here is Polanco. Get the 3-run home run against Lariano here in the middle of August. With that hit, Mauer's now tied Duke Snyder on the hit list. Down and away, and it's 1-1. Swing on this, 1-2.
That's a changeup right there away.
And now 2-2. Twins with 3 hits so far. And 1 run. Polanco flips one foul the other way. Looking for his 6th win of the year. Back-to-back starts against the Twins. And called 3rd strike.
Polanco doesn't like it. And Lariano picking up his 5th strikeout.
Second time that Polanco's gone down on strikes. It's now Logan Forsythe.
It's the first called strikeout. On the box at 92 miles an hour.
Here's Forsythe. Going to struggle for Logan picking up hits. Based on the foul balls he's hit, he's trying to work his way out of it from the opposite field first over to the pull side. Making contact, just not getting the results he got when he first came to the Twins. 1-0. And now 2-0. Back-to-back doubles have the Twins on the board. Mauer still at second. Three and 0 with Grossman on deck. There's a strike.
Yeah, Liriano making his 26th start. First 25 starts, there's not a start where he did not walk at least one batter. There's a walk him right here. You know where he's at. There you go.
And Forsythe takes first base. And the tying run aboard now for Grossman. Zubas Palooza's coming back tomorrow. Special ticket package includes a game ticket and your very own limited edition Minnesota Twins Zubas pants. Can take advantage of the special offer available exclusively by logging on to twinsbaseball.com/Zubas. Be there tomorrow night or be square.
We have 2 games tomorrow. And you're going to bring your Zubas with you tomorrow?
Well, I'm hoping to score a pair here tomorrow night, but
But you had some, you said.
I do, but
Just wear those.
You got to get this year's model.
Well, got plenty of time between double headers. You can come on air with in the second show with your Zubas on.
I've got I don't know whether I should admit this or not, but I think I've got like 3 or 4 pair. I got a pair from the olden days of University of Minnesota, maroon and gold Zubas. I've got some orange and white ones. I don't know where I got those.
I have the orange and white ones.
Do you really?
I have 2 pair.
Do you have them here in Minnesota?
No, they're in Florida.
And then I've got 1 or 2 pair of the Twins ones.
You wear the Zubas tomorrow. I'll wear the Zubas. We'll go on the air with
I got
Zubas on. Yeah, you've got a long day tomorrow.
I don't know whether it's a fashion statement, but maybe not a positive one, to wear a coat and tie
with Zubas. I think we can start something.
I honestly don't know what my Twins ones are. I don't want to show up here with the Gopher.
No. We'll arrange to get
the ones they're giving away.
Yeah, early.
Okay. I'm in.
Okay.
3 and 1 now to Grossman with Austin on deck.
And this is what we have seen from Liriano. You know, he'll get in that nice little groove, and then all of a sudden he'll lose it. Grossman should get a pretty good pitch to hit here. Couple runners on. Mauer at second. Forsythe at first.
And a strike.
One with a changeup, looked like, or a slider.
And with a full count, the runners will go. Ball 4, they're loaded up for Austin.
Looks like the trainer's coming out to take a look at Liriano. So back-to-back walks bring the trainer out and also the manager, Ron Gardner. Liriano did spend some time on a disabled list with a strained right hamstring, but that was back in late May, early June.
And he's going to leave the ball game.
Let's take a look at the last pitch right here. Well, there's nothing new for Liriano to do that. He's always been that type of wild type delivery.
Coming off the field with a little bit of a limp, it appears. So Liriano will check out of the ball game, and someone new will come in, and they will have all the time they feel that they'll need. This isn't quite the situation that Tyler Duffy inherited the other night when he came in with the bases loaded and nobody out. There are 2 out, and Lewis Coleman will try to strand 3 runners and keep the Tigers in the lead here in the 3rd inning. Xfinity.
Take a look at the 2nd inning. A couple walks by Gonzalez, and Griner scoring right there. He was the first walk, and then Jones later scored. He was the 2nd walk. So it's a 3-0 Tigers lead, but the Twins come back. Joe Mauer RBI double after Petit had just doubled, make it a 3-1 ball game. Then a couple walks, and Francisco Liriano out of the ball game.
Lewis Coleman just doing essentially his long tossing, and now he'll take more time on the mound here.
Yeah, Coleman making his 50th relief appearance, 49 2/3 innings, 41 hits allowed. He's allowed 5 home runs, 24 walks. That's a little bit high. He's picked up 39 strikeouts.
There are a lot of teams in rebuilding mode, particularly in the American League. You've got the Tigers, the White Sox, and the Royals in the American League Central. I'm not sure Baltimore has even started rebuilding yet. They're just tearing things down. But Toronto will rebuild. The Angels might, the Rangers are. But one thing they all have in common, it seems like they've all got competent end of the bullpen guys who can get the job done. The soft underbelly, if you will, the setup guys, the long relievers, when they have to go to the bullpen early, that's when they run into trouble. That's what got him into trouble last night.
Yeah, Coleman's actually done a pretty good job. You know, he was looking for a job in spring training and ended up signing by the Tigers late in February. Went down to AAA and they get called up, and the numbers really pretty good.
But
other than the walks.
But you don't want to bring him into the 3rd inning,
right.
You know, and so he's not going to be able to pitch till the 8th inning. That's kind of what the issue's been with the Tigers and the White Sox and the Royals. Ball 1 now to Austin.
You see Coleman. Twins just saw a lot of him when he was with the Kansas City Royals a couple of years ago with the Dodgers. Last year in the minor leagues with the Reds and the Diamondbacks. Gives you that crossfire type delivery.
Fouled away 1-1.
Last night's ball game, Austin hit the facing of the 2nd deck in his first at bat. A 2-run home run gave the Twins a 3-1 lead.
1-1. Down and away 2-1. No run Gardenhire realizing that his chances of winning this ball game might very well depend on what happens in this at bat. That's why he's brought in one of his better relievers to try to get Austin and keep the lead. Fouled away, 2-2.
Good swing right there by Austin. Coleman, 32 years old, originally signed by the Royals in 2009 out of LSU.
Drilled down the line. 2 runs will score. A double for Austin to tie the game. Just out of the reach of Candelario, and it's 3 apiece.
Third double of the inning, third hit of the inning, and Austin driving in a couple runs. Now with 44 on the year. That fastball stayed middle in, and Tyler hitting it sharply right down that third baseline. Candelario dove for it, could not knock it down, ended up in the corner. Stewart had to get it back in. And Mauer and Forsythe scoring, and Grossman stopping at third.
Now Astudillo trying to keep the line moving. Big cut and a miss. Astudillo not only struck out in the second, he struck out on a check swing. Even hitters who strike out 150 times, 200 times, they feel bad about striking out on a check swing. This guy hardly ever strikes out.
That was a nasty slider by Liriano.
And now tap foul, and he's behind in the count 0-2. We have seen from this young man, Astudillo, the ability to just focus on making contact with 2 strikes. Outside, 1-2.
And with that crossfire, it's hard to throw a curveball from where the angle is, Lewis. So it's basically a big, hard slider, and then the changeup.
And now 2-2. We've seen teams do more and more of this too with Astudillo. Get him to 2 strikes, and they know about his ability to avoid the strikeout, and they do a lot of that, trying to get him to expand, but he's got a decent enough eye at the plate not to chase.
Yeah, that's a good take right there. Slider down and away.
Now the count's full. Kepler's on deck. Chopper toward the hole and through. Grossman scores. Austin scores. And Astudillo puts the Twins in front.
Tell you what, he can hit. He can hit. A big 2-out, 2-run single by Astudillo. Got the count to 3-2. Hit it between the infielders. There were 2 outs. Grossman scores. Austin scores.
And all 3 inherited runners end up scoring on Coleman. There's a pitch low to Kepler. Another 5 spot for the Twins. High fly center field. Jones comes in. And the inning ends. So really good 2-out hitting for the Twins. A 2-out double, 2-run scoring for Austin, and a 2-run single for Astudillo. is presented by Chevrolet, the #1 selling brand in the Twin Cities. And by Grand Casino. The best stories start here. Now the Twins have the lead at 5-3 thanks to a couple of clutch 2-out hits. And on to the fourth, and the hope is Gonsalves has gotten into his rhythm, his groove. Mauer with an RBI double to get the Twins on the board. 4 more runs followed, and now Gonsalves, who had a 1-2-3 third, hopes for a 1-2-3 fourth. First pitch up.
Yeah, he needed 36 pitches in that first inning, only 10 last inning to retire to the Tigers 1-2-3.
And a strike 1-1. Pulled foul 1-2. Gonsalves just gave up a couple of bloop hits, but they came after walks to the first 2 batters he faced. There hadn't been a lot of hard contact. Hardest ball hit against him might be the line drive he deflected to Polanco to get an out in the second inning. 3 weak ground balls in the third. Two and two. Another grounder foul. Matuk with a lot of fouls in his, or Jones rather, with a lot of fouls in his first at bat against Gonsalves. Well, that was Matuk who had all the fouls against Boyd.
Right.
I beg your pardon. Jones was walked and walked quickly in the second. Another weak ground ball. 4 hops to Petit. Low throw dug out by Mauer. 1 away.
Play the new Vikings scratch games from the Minnesota Lottery. With a top prize up to $100,000, it pays to be a fan.
Gonsalves getting some ground ball outs. Last 4 outs recorded on ground ball outs, and 5 overall.
Dawel Lugo will bat. Got the bloop single to right. He just, with 2 strikes, chipped it over the head of Mauer into short right field. And then Stewart did essentially the same thing later in the inning. And the Tigers added 2 more runs, 1-1. Doug Minkiewicz, of course, was a longtime Twin and a minor league manager in the Twin system. Managed this past year for Detroit's AAA team in Toledo. And an interesting perspective on some of these young pitchers we're seeing here, because he had them in the minor leagues, and talking particularly about Cole Stewart and how, you know, he's got a great sinker and he's improved it this year, and he's gotten a lot of soft contact, and essentially saying what we've said when we've seen Stewart and now Gonsalves. Pitch to contact works, you know, and you can have quick innings, you can have long outings with a pitch to contact philosophy. Fouled away. And what we saw from Gonsalves against the Tigers in Detroit was a lot of that soft contact that didn't amount to much, but gave him and his team some quick outs. Just missed the outside corner, and it's the 3rd walk issued by Gonsalves.
Yeah, and that outing against Detroit, the 6 shutout innings, only 1 hit allowed, 78 pitches. That's your point right there, Dick. Tried the outer half of the plate, and just outside.
Replay brought to you by Ram. Now Cosma struck out swinging in the second. Weak pop-up, right field. Grossman under it, out number 2. We'll bring up Candelario. Candelario hit the line drive that Gonsalves' glove didn't catch it, but he slowed it down. The Twins were able to get the second out of the second inning at second base. strike. Well, one thing we saw against the Tigers before, and I think we've seen it particularly in the last couple of innings, not repeating velocity through his pitching repertoire. Fly ball center field, easy catch for Cave. A walk, no harm, no foul. It's Kepler out in center field, and another good inning for Gonzalez. The third inning started with Johnny Field, and the fourth inning will start as well with the guy who hit 2 home runs last night.
Yeah, good for him. First time in his major league career, he's had a 2 home run game. That first home run coming in the second inning, his 2-run home run coming in the fourth inning.
And now he'll lead off the fourth as he did the third, hoping for a better result. He hit a fly ball to center. Twins went on to score 5 runs in the third inning. 1-0.
Looks like 10. Looks like a copy.
Pulled foul. 1-1.
Johnny Field, 26 years old, started the season in AAA for the Rays, got called up. Then they designated him for assignment. The Indians claimed him off waivers. And then the Indians tried to send him out. And the Twins picked him up on August 3rd.
Two and one.
A couple stints with the Twins when Robbie Grossman went on a disabled list. Field got the opportunity to wear a Twins uniform, was optioned out when Robbie came back, and then recalled September 1st.
Breaking ball gets a swing and a miss. 2-2. Remarkable power for someone short in stature.
They list him at 5'10", about 180.
Goes after a high fastball and misses. 1 away. Bring up Petit. Petit started the 5-run third with a double into the left field corner.
A high fastball right here by Coleman. Picks up his first strikeout.
Exactly hit the target, but he got the strikeout. Target by Griner was down and away. Fastball was up and in. Outside, ball 1.
myself last night. I said the Twins hadn't had a losing homestand since May, and I'd forgot about the one series homestand against Oakland where they went 1-3. That was just towards the end of August. But prior to that, you'd have to go all the way back to May to find a losing homestand for the Twins. And now 2-2 to Petit.
Yeah, they've definitely played well here. 12 games over 500 here at Target Field.
Waves and pitch down and away, 2 down.
Good slider down and away.
Before Mauer's at bat, let's get the big story tonight from Kevin Gord.
Yeah, the big story is all about the Colorado Rockies and their emphatic win last night, 14-0. German Marquez opened up the game with 8 consecutive strikeouts, which tied a major league record. He set a franchise record by the end of the night with 221 strikeouts for the season, 11 total last night in 7 innings. They won 14-0 last night. They won 5-3 today. They lead the National League West by 1 over the Dodgers. Dodgers go to San Fran this weekend. Colorado hosts Washington, guys.
Yeah, how about this for the timing of a 7-game winning streak in late September?
Yep.
That's kind of nice for a team that really was on the wrong side of things and wondering whether they'd even get in as a wild card team, and now they control their own destiny going into the last weekend thanks to a 7-game winning streak. Dribbled back to the mound. Coleman to Goodrum, and it's a 1-2-3-4. Nice name for a sports network, don't you think? Pepsi fans of the game enjoying a cool night, but the Twins have come back to take the lead at 5-3. Christian Stewart will lead things off. He's got a couple of hits already, one of them against Gonsalves, although he didn't hit it well. Just flipped it into left field for an RBI single in the second.
Yeah, that in the second that Lugo also hit that little flare into right field, and Stewart the one to left. And that's the last hit that Gonzalez has given up.
Shoot a 1-out walk in the 4th. Count 1-1 to Stewart. But you know, and we give the velocity readings on the screen now. That's at 84, and we've seen of Gonsalves, the next one might be 87, it might be 79, but we rarely see him throw the same velocity on back-to-back pitches. Well, that was 88, but not a strike. It's 3-1. That was Warren Spahn's most famous saying: hitting is timing and pitching is messing up time.
Yes.
Swung on and missed. 3-2.
Catfish Hunter was one of the best at that. Excellent control, changing speeds, and then you think of Greg Maddux, same thing. Guys that could hit that corner down and away, up and down, changing speeds, adding and subtracting.
And he missed up and in. And it's a leadoff walk, the 4th walk issued by Gonsalves. Twins fans, if you can't catch the games on TV, stream them live on your mobile device with Fox Sports Go. Download the app, take Fox Sports North and Twins baseball wherever you go. Now Castellanos struck out, leaving 2 men aboard in the 2nd inning against Gonsalves. Ball 1.
Gonsalves had a great year down in AA and AAA this year, combined 12-3, but walks have always been an issue throughout his career. In the minor leagues, 599 innings pitched, 238 walks, averaging about 4 walks per 9 innings.
Hook foul on a pitch 81 miles per hour. Hitters study pitchers now on video, scouting reports. There's preparation that can be done to the minutest detail if you're hitting against someone. And if you want to get a book on Stephen Gonsalves, it's all there for you if you want it. High fly right center field. Something that was 89 miles per hour. The ball carrying to the warning track for the first out of the inning. That'll bring up Goodrum, who's been a real pain in the neck to the Twins this year. Runs batted in and 12 runs scored. And again, he didn't play in the series in Detroit a week and a half ago.
Yeah, the 5 home runs has hit a total of 16 on the season.
That the Twins swept the Tigers in Detroit.
Because he didn't play.
And that he didn't play aren't two disconnected thoughts. He's really been good. Good for him. Very popular guy in the Twins clubhouse because so many of the guys went through the minor leagues with him. Now Gonsalves falls behind 2-0.
Yeah, 8 seasons in the Twins system. Signed by the Twins back in 2010. He was their number 2 pick that year.
2-1. White Sox start a 4-game series here tomorrow afternoon, and it'll be Daniel Palka who was in the Twins system, but the White Sox picked him off the Twins roster. And he's done well for the White Sox. On the outside corner, 2-2. Stewart reached with a leadoff walk. Base hit to right. It'll get to Grossman in a hurry. First and second, 1 away.
I think we saw that high average and also the amount of hits that he's had to get as you look back at the pitches where they are. Well, they're basically right down the middle, and he's not missing them.
Much better right-handed hitter than left, and he picked up a solid single to right there. And here comes Paul Molitor. Looks like Gonsalves might go 3 in the 3rd innings. Leadoff walk didn't help Gonsalves' case to stay in the ballgame.
It's a lot like his Kansas City start where he worked 3 shutout innings but threw 78 pitches. You got 76 right now.
Matt McGill will come in with 1 out and 2 on. walks allowed by Gonsalves, and he comes out with 1 out in the 5th.
And Matt McGill coming into the ball game. See the numbers of McGill making his 39th relief appearance. Done a good job out of that bullpen.
And Mikey Matuk will come to the plate with a tying run at first base and 1 down.
And McGill making his first appearance in this 3-game series.
Matuk has hit 2 ground balls to Gregorio Petit so far tonight. Down and away, ball 1. Fouled away. Gill took the loss in Oakland, giving up the walk-off home run to Chris Davis. And he had a good outing before that in Detroit. A couple of outings where he gave up a run. Just hasn't been as good in the second half as he was in the first half.
We just saw the fastball at 97, also a slider, occasional curveball.
Blocked by Astudillo. 2-1. Off the plate now, 3-1.
McGill 21 walks in 54 innings pitched. He does have 52 strikeouts.
Three and one. Griner on deck. He missed. And now they're loaded up. 2 walks in the inning. The tying run in scoring position for Grayson Griner. Griner walked against Gonsalves and scored a run in the second. And he hit a ball to Forsythe, who was shifting him behind second base.
Griner just playing in his 29th game for the Tigers, has not hit into a double play yet.
Stuck on the outside corner, a fastball for strike one. With a 5-run third inning to take a 5-3 lead. It's blocked by Astudillo. In the 5th inning, the Twins have issued their 4th and 5th walks of the night. Half swing, but a strike.
Good slider there. Needs a strikeout right here.
Might get one if he can throw that pitch in that spot again.
Griner laid off of that.
2-2. Stewart walked to start the inning. Goodrum singled, and then Matuk drew a walk against
Dropped a breaking ball on the outside corner to get him. 2 down.
Well, McGill able to pick up the strikeout with bases loaded and 1 out. Now there's 2. So he went back to the good breaking ball. Great pitch.
And now Jacoby Jones. Twins got a big 2-out hit with the bases loaded in the 3rd, and now Jones waits, and he can't hit that breaking ball either. 1 strike. Another swing and a miss on the breaking ball.
I would have to say this is going to be a breaking ball. Yeah, Jones can play some defense. Tigers want to find out if he can hit at this level. He had a frustrating year last year. Hit only 170 in 56 games.
Took that one off the plate. Yeah.
Jones coming into this plate appearance hitting just .211.
One and 2. Breaking ball got him. And McGill pitches out of the bases loaded situation. Gonsalves and probably you at home relieved about that. The Twins still lead by 2. Preserving the 5-3 lead. Jorge Polanco will lead off the 5th inning, and he's been really good for the Twins. Nice to see a finishing kick from the Twins shortstop.
You know, no matter what side of the plate, I know his average is down, but he's been hitting well from both sides of the plate over the last month. You see over the last 18 ball games what he's been able to accomplish. You know, his job hitting in that 2nd spot, yeah. Score some runs, and he's been able to do that, and also drive in some runs.
And Polanco, who struck out twice against Francisco Liriano, probably glad that Liriano's no longer in the ball game, and the Tigers bring Matt Hall in to pitch to the Twins in the 5th.
Yeah, Matt Hall just making his 4th major league appearance. Getting called up on September 11th. Started the season down in AA, promoted to AAA. He was the Tigers minor league pitcher of the year this year.
Pitches up 1-1.
Paul Molitor was asked today how different it is this year. And Hunter Wendelstedt getting some heat from the Twins dugout for that strike call.
Somebody hey-haying over there. Take a look at the fastball.
Yeah. Caught the corner. 1-2. Bounce to the right side and through. Polanco punches an opposite field single to start the 5th inning. That'll bring us to Forsyth. 2019 season tickets are on sale. Season ticket holders get the best seats at the best price and automatically become part of the Sweet Spot Rewards and Benefits program. Learn more at twinsbaseball.com/season tickets or call 800-33-TWINS. Paul Molitor was asked how it's different this year because at the end of the year, last year, after the wild card game, he could place just about every player at a position and know what was coming back. Not in the pitching staff certainly, but at least position player wise. Castro behind the plate, Mauer at first, Dozier at second, Polanco at short, Sano at third, Buxton, Kepler, Rosario in the outfield. And how it's different this year for one reason or another. There will be a lot of question marks for the Twins, and which players is Paul counting on to come back next year and basically do what they've done this year. And he said he'd think about that and ponder the question, but certainly based on the endorsement he gave Polanco the other day, you'd think shortstop is one of those positions. He's done a really good job after joining the ball club.
Well, again, after missing the first 80 games because of the PED suspension, you look where he's at: 17 doubles, 3 triples, 6 home runs. Times that by 2, and you're looking at a very solid year.
They've got Polanco picked off. Goodrum's throw is there to get him. 1 down. And Polanco caught stealing. He stole a base last night, and he's been pretty much a toss of the coin when he wants to steal a base.
And that's kind of a toss of a coin right there. A lot of, with the lefty out there, you go on first movement, but Hall going over to first. Goodwin. And a quick throw over to Lugo. So the play going 1-3-4.
1-1 the count to Forsyth. Drew a walk and scored in the 3rd inning. Back to the mound, and Forsyth needed that. A seeing eye single, and maybe that'll get him back on track. And that'll bring up Grossman. Grossman kind of turning his year inside out from last year. I remember last year in the first half of the year, he was among the league leaders in on-base percentage, and then tailed off in the second half. This year it's been just the opposite. Down and in, a ball. Struggled a bit in the first half, but has really jacked up his on-base percentage in the second half.
Yeah, I think the last month and a half he's been one of the hottest hitters for the Twins.
And Michael Brantley is 10th in the league in on-base percentage at .365. And Grossman seems to be climbing on a nightly basis, and he's in at .357. He's not too far from being in the top 10 in on-base percentage in the league. He's got a higher on-base percentage than Joe Mauer. Mauer at .347. So there haven't been many Twins players from a year ago who come back this year and had a really good year, but Grossman has been one of those guys. Takes a strike, and it's 3-1. So we're talking about, look at the on-base percentage in the second half, .392.
And takes a walk there.
And the on-base percentage is going to improve again tonight. He's got a single and 2 walks. And now Tyler Austin got a big 2-out double to tie the game in the third.
That's when Coleman came into the ball game and threw him a fastball down, and he lined it right down that third baseline.
Low ball one. Unique view from behind home plate. Behind the screen. Swung on and missed 1-1.
That's actually what Dan Gladden and Corey Provis are doing here tonight.
The radio broadcast is right behind the backstop.
Yeah. On field level.
One and one. Both wearing stocking caps. Swung on and missed 1 and 2.
There they are.
Kyle Hammer, the engineer. Corey's got a Love Your Melon stocking cap. It was and is Love Your Melon night here at the ballpark.
You think Danny's given any heck to the Tiger hitters when they come on the on-deck circle there? Former Tiger himself.
Hauled off a leg, and that buckles Austin.
Austin walking it off. Take a look right here.
Downer on the foot. There really is no complimentary injury for a pitcher similar to that as a hitter, is there?
Ball hit off your shin. That hurts.
Well, yeah, but that happens what, once every 5 years or something like that.
Not when I pitched.
I mean, that
felt like I had a bullseye.
That always looks like it really, really hurts.
Yeah, I'm sure it does.
You don't have to smile when you say that.
Do I feel bad? No.
1 and 2. To left center field. Stewart chasing it. He won't get there. It bounces over the wall for another double for Tyler Austin. 1 run will score. As the second run, Forsythe comes across, or Grossman, he'll be sent back to third, I believe. Austin with another double and 1 more run batted in. And I think that ball bounced over the fence and came back on the field.
Yeah, it sure did. That's what Ron Gardenhire is saying right there.
Way over the wall. And right now Grossman's still in the dugout, and the third base umpire Jansen Visconti made the call.
I think Hunter Wendelstedt's saying, let's go, get back to third.
Another RBI for Austin. Second and third, 1 down. The only out recorded was on the pickoff of Polanco. And now Astudillo, who delivered a 2-run single his last time up, dribbling one through the left side of the infield. Now with the infield in. Stopped by Griner, ball 1. Waited on it, chopped it foul for Astudillo. He has 82 at bats and 17 runs batted in.
2-1.
All combined between AA, AAA, 9-2, 2.13 ERA. He did some starting down there. He struggled since his call-up, making his 4th major league appearance. Coming into the ball game, only 5 2/3 innings, 8 earned runs allowed.
Chopped in front of the third baseman, and it's fielded by Candelario across the line. It's always a tough decision for the runner at third, Grossman in this case. He's talking it over with Gene Glenn. What do you do on something like that? You kind of run up the line, or you retreat to the bag.
Go back to the bag.
Two and 2 to Astudillo. Chance for the Twins to get some breathing room here in the 5th inning, leading 6-3. Another one down and in that nearly hit him. Full count, Kepler on deck.
Yeah, Hall's best pitch is that curveball, and he's missed with it here.
Hasn't retired a batter yet. Giving him 3 hits and a walk. Drilled past a diving Candelario. 2 runs will score. Astudillo has driven in 4 runs tonight. He just keeps on hitting.
I think that's the only fastball he saw, and he was sitting on it. He smoked that ball as Austin did in the 3rd inning, right down that third base line. So good, solid swing right there by Astudillo. That ball got past the third baseman in a hurry.
5 batters faced, and Hall hasn't retired a single one of them. Rick Anderson to the mound. The only out in the inning, Polanco's pickoff. And now Kepler will bat with 3 runs already in. Tigers got the first 3 runs and now 8 unanswered runs for the Twins. Shelton and Tyler Austin sharing a moment in the dugout, and now Kepler still hitting lefties better than righties. Down and away a ball.
You're talking about Grossman, how his first half was terrible, and then the second half has been good. Almost a reverse for Kepler. He's really struggled in the second half.
The struggles have continued against right-handers. Last year he had 272 against right-handers, and all the focus was on what he wasn't able to do versus lefties. And all season long he's hit left-handers better than right-handers. He's hitting right-handers at a 212 clip this year after hitting 272 against them last year. 2-1. Max told me the other day he's going back to Germany, spend the off season there, an open-ended return trip home, maybe some of the home cooking. We'll get him back on track for next season. Solidly to center field. That ball was scalded. Astudillo will score, and Kepler
drives in another run, and Hall still has not retired a batter.
Yeah, good to see Kepler get a pitch to his liking and hammer it into right center. So he picks up an RBI, his 54th. The Twins, who put a 5-run third inning together, have scored 4 runs so far here in the 5th.
110 miles per hour off the bat. And now Field. This is what we were talking about before, that Liriano had to leave in the 3rd inning and the game was turned over to the Tiger bullpen. Coleman didn't particularly have a good outing. Hall really struggling. They could patch it together if the starter gives them a chance, and then you turn things over to Verhagen and Wilson. Sean Green. But they obviously haven't been able to do that enough. 0-2 to Field. Some good baseball men in that dugout. Joe Vavra, Steve Little, Rick Anderson all coached here for the Twins for many years under Ron Gardenhire. Don't want to say that Ramon Santiago isn't a good guy. It's just I don't know him as well as the guys who used to coach here.
Well, his playing career just ended, what, a couple years ago. Santiago, good utility player, student of the game.
1-2. On the ground, Candelario picks it up. Safe at first. Field beating the relay, or Goodrum pulled his foot.
Yeah, I think he pulled his foot right there, but Field, who does have good speed, stays out of the double play. Looked like Lugo had a little trouble getting the ball out of his glove at second base. Right here, the little bit, you can see a little bit too long. And then the low throw, it's Goodrum come.
Oh, he's out.
Stayed on the bag.
Tiger should challenge that. Huh. He was clearly out.
Well, let's not show him. Okay, too late.
Too late now. And again, Hunter Wendelstedt hearing some grief from the Twins dugout, holding up 2 fingers, and you think you could hear him say, all right, that's twice now. 1 strike. Oh, 2. Squibb. And a nice play by Griner to throw out Petit. But the Twins get 4 more runs, and the guys who drove in most of the runs in the 3rd did it again in the 5th.
Got Tyler Austin, Pasadillo, and Max Kepler. Good for Max.
driving in the 9th run, and we go to the 6th inning. Dawel Lugo will lead things off, then Cosma and Candelario. Stadio with 4 runs batted in.
And Matt McGill starting his first full inning.
And if McGill pitches through the 6th, maybe gets an out or 2 or 3 in the 7th, he might be deemed the winning pitcher if the Twins hang on and win this ball game, if he pitches effectively. Gonzalez got a win 2 outings ago. No, that was a no decision. I beg your pardon. No decision because of the 4 walks. Fouled away. So the decision for who to grant the win to when a team opens with an opener is up to the official scorer.
Right.
The most effective pitcher in the official scorer's mind after the opener, because the opener, despite the name change, is still the starter, and they have to go 5 innings. Fouled away into the seats.
Do you think they'll ever change that? Maybe a starter has to go 4 innings?
Yeah, we've talked about that on the telecast, maybe not with you, but it would seem to be, I mean, how long has that rule been in place? 100 years? I mean, yeah, I mean, for as long as I can remember, a starter had to go 5. But the whole craft of pitching has changed so much. There's a leadoff walk.
A second walk by McGill.
Walked the first man he faced after entering the game in the 5th, and now again here to start the 6th. You know, I don't know. You know, if you got rid of the rule altogether, because I think when this all settles down, this pitching renaissance, I guess, if you want to call it that, I think where it might very well settle into is more of the bullpen style of game, where the pitcher will start, they'll be asked to go through the lineup once, and then maybe a few hitters after that to complete an inning, and then almost as part of a rhythm or a rotation, there would be a secondary pitcher who would be asked to face the lineup one time and maybe a hitter or 2 to finish an inning.
Didn't Tony La Russa try to do that?
Yes, he did. And what's interesting to me, that was born out of a pitching staff that was not very good.
Right.
That's the reason you try things like this, and that's the reason why the Rays tried the opener concept coming out of spring training this year. 1-1, and now 2-1. And it was interesting today on my way into the ballpark. I heard an interview with Nathan Eovaldi, who started the year with the Rays before he went to Boston. And he was asked about being introduced to this concept that the Rays started and now other teams like the Twins have picked up.
The opener.
The opener. Here's a drive to center, and Kepler makes the catch, 1 away. And Eovaldi said it was explained to them, introduced to them, as it would be a very short-term thing, lasting only a month and a half until the season got going. And it was going to be once per turn through the rotation, because they still had Archer and they had Snell and they had Eovaldi, and you know, they were only going to do it once, and then guys got hurt, so it became twice through the rotation.
Archer left.
Right. And other people got hurt, including Eovaldi, who was out for a while. But it was interesting to me because he said even the Rays themselves weren't really committed to sticking with it, but then they saw the results, and that's why they have continued it, and that's why other teams have adopted it.
Well, every club has different pitchers, you know, what type, role type pitchers, and I know Tampa Bay, at the bottom of or at the end of their bullpen got some guys that can throw that baseball.
Right.
I mean, you're talking 96 to 100.
Right.
I wonder how many times Tampa has actually used the opener. Twins have used it, what, this is the 7th time?
Right.
They've used it?
Trevor May once and Moya 6 times, right? 1-1.
Didn't DeYoung?
Well, but that DeYoung, I think, that was a start, and that was a bullpen game. That's where I think this might all lead, where you might have someone like DeYoung, Littell, somebody go through the lineup once, pitch to 9, 10, 12 hitters.
But that day, I don't think I was here. With that day, did they call him a starter or an opener?
They call him a starter.
Call him a starter, okay.
To me, there's a little more shelf life with the bullpenning idea, where you let every pitcher face the lineup once, and if things are going fine and you've got a lead of a couple of runs and then you want to extend the guy, that's fine. But the one thing it wouldn't require, high fly right field, Grossman staring up into the black Minnesota night, goes back to the warning track to make that catch. 2 away.
Oh, kept drifting on Grossman.
I think the one thing that would require is an expansion of rosters. I don't know how you could do that over a full season with just a 25-man roster.
So you carry 15 pitchers.
I don't know. I have a lot of idle time on my hands, and I tend to think about baseball. And there's no question that the game on the pitching side is really changing. And the only debate is whether it's for the better or not. Here's Stewart. Polanco going back. My gosh, that guy's living right. It was very much like his hit in the 2nd inning. Just kind of squirted it into left field.
A 3rd hit for Stewart.
1st and 2nd. 2 down. Join Fox Sports North at Oktoberfest. October 6th, Saturday from 2 to 11 p.m. You can watch the Wild home opener against the Golden Knights on 2 jumbotrons. Enjoy German beer hall and interactive games, face painting, photos with Nordy, and stop by the Fox Sports North booth for giveaways and more. For more details, visit foxsportsnorth.com/events. There's Castellanos. Tigers trying to get back in the game, down by 6. Check swing, ball 1.
Castellanos picked up an RBI in that 1st inning with a sacrifice fly. He struck out and hit a fly ball out to right field. Grossman in his 2 other at bats.
Big cut and a foul. 1-1. Foul, 1-2. McGill, frankly, having a tough time. He's faced 7 batters. 3 of them have reached. But like Gonsalves, the hit, the only one, a soft flare to the opposite field. Saw Castellanos do that successfully. Now that is 95. He took a pitch from Hildenberger the other night. Fastball in off the plate. Somehow got his hands tucked in and put the barrel on it and hit it to center field.
Tell you what, the Tigers have a guy right here, Castellanos, that they can kind of build around a little bit. This is his 6th year, but his 5th full season with the Tigers. He's got power, driving in runs.
Roller to 3rd. Astudillo or Petit rather to the bag, and that wraps up the Tigers' 6th.
Off the bat of Tyler Austin with a double. As the Deals hit it, smoking his ball down the left field line. And Max Kepler at 110 miles an hour. Ooh.
Well, the Twins leading comfortably right now. And they will hit in the 6th inning, starting with Joe Mauer, who will face Buck Farmer.
Yeah, Buck Farmer worked in last night's ball game, a shutout inning. He worked the 7th inning, threw 10 pitches, 9 for strikes.
A lot of crooked numbers in this series so far.
And again, we saw that on the road trip too. A lot of multi-run innings for the Twins. Farmer's numbers, walks are high. 41 walks in 67 1/3 innings.
Mauer, Polanco, and Forsythe. And a strike. Mauer's hit 2 balls hard. One was caught superbly by Kristen Stewart in the 1st inning. A leaping, lunging catch of a line drive. And then one that landed just fair inside the foul line for a double in the 3rd. Asked Paul Molitor today whether he thought he was describing Mauer as a player very observant, really focused during the game. And I've thought about this for years, wondering whether Joe would ever consider managing. His brother Jake, of course, managed in the Twins minor league system. Tap foul. And Paul said he doesn't know. He thinks Joe would have the qualities to be a manager, has no interest whether he'd be interested. And Paul admitted that he has pondered the idea of letting Joe manage one of the games he doesn't play tomorrow. Let him call the shots. He's not going to play probably the afternoon game, then he would play in the 2nd game. And Paul thought he'd let Joe try his hand at managing tomorrow, but then Joe said he didn't have any interest in that. Liner. Oh, another nice catch. This one by Cosmo. And Mauer has hit 3 bullets tonight.
Cosmo made a nice catch.
One
Just
down.
Joe a little bit up the middle. He had to go to his right. And timed it perfectly.
Of course, I had to ask if Paul would agree to that. If he got ejected, who would pay the fine, Joe or Paul Molitor? And Paul said, what do you think the chances are, Joe, if he managed would ever get thrown out of a game? Probably not very good. 1-0 to Polanco. Polanco singled as a right-handed batter and then was picked off by the pitcher he singled against, the lefty Hall, who otherwise really had a miserable night. Fly ball down the right field line, long run. Matuk won't get there. The ball bounces behind him, and Polanco has a fly ball double.
It looked like he hit it right off the end of the bat, but softly hit to the outfield. Matuk, who was quick of foot, he tried to get to it, but it ended up hitting the turf, and it went into the stands for a ground rule double.
Doesn't happen in the other sports the way it does in baseball.
No, it did not go into the stands.
No. The unfairness of it all. Mauer has a great at bat. Hits the ball really hard off the barrel of the bat, and it's an out. And Polanco gets fooled on a pitch, hits it off the end of the bat, and plops one down the right field line, and he's got a double.
Great game, isn't it?
But there really isn't any compliment, I don't think, in another sport. Like football, I can't come up with a compliment. Basketball, I mean, you take a shot and it either goes in or it doesn't. And in hockey, maybe a deflection out in front of the goal or something like that. Pitches up to Forsythe, now 2-0. Forsythe with a ground out, a walk and a run scored. Then he bounced a single up the middle and scored in the 4-run 5th.
Buck Farmer, fastball, slider, changeup.
Foul back. 2-1. Buznit's continuing to warm up, so he may get the ball for the 7th inning. Strike of the knees, 2-2.
Good changeup right there by Farmer.
To the right field corner, and this too will be chased by Matuk, but he gets there. Polanco late in retouching the bag. He'll stay put, 2 away. For today's Minnesota Lottery Winner Circle, we'd like to thank all the fans that have submitted their photos and messages throughout the season with the Minnesota Lottery. Every day is a game day. And we're running out of games, and I'm really bummed about that. 2 down, and Grossman will bat a single and 2 walks and 2 runs scored. Down and in, a ball. Grossman's been better from the right side of the plate, but his left-handed numbers have been acceptable.
Yeah, he's got 5 home runs, 249 coming into this ball game. 5 home runs, 3 from this side of the plate.
"31 walks added to the 249 batting average, and his on-base percentage as a lefty 329, but an otherworldly 417 as a right-handed batter.
His on-base percentage now at 362.
Doesn't have enough plate appearances to be listed among the league leaders. You still need to have the 3.1 plate appearances per team game played, and you'll finish with 502 by season's end. 2-1.
Good change up there by Farmer. Farmer, a guy that the Tigers tried to put in a rotation when he first came up back in 2014. It just did not pan out. This is his first full season with Detroit. Strictly used in the bullpen.
And the dirt 3-2. Austin on deck. Ground ball to short. Cosmo has it. Cosmo fires across. That's the end of the Twin 6.
Well, the Tigers actually had a 3-0 lead, but then in the third inning, the Twins put a 5 spot up. Some good base hitting by Tyler Austin, driving in a couple runs. Osadillo with a 2-run single. That made it a 5-3 lead. Then the Twins in the 5th inning put another crooked number up, a big 4. Osadillo also a part of that with a big 2-run double. So good offensive night for the Twins. As we said in the Pizza Ranch, keep the offense going, and they have so far tonight. 11 hits, 9 runs.
Kepler looking at his scouting report, kept on a plasticized card. And Alan Busenitz does come out of the bullpen to pitch to the Tigers in the 7th inning.
You see the ERA for Busenitz. It's really been a struggle over his last 4 or 5 starts.
Goodrum, the batter, lifted to left. Johnny Field going back, still going back, and 1 pitch, 1 out.
That was a nice route right there by Field. He put his head down and ran straight back where he thought the ball would be, and then he spun around, and sure, there it was.
And that'll bring up Matuk.
You know, a lot of outfielders will keep their eye on the ball. He took off right away. Nice catch.
Got to be careful. You're not playing on a windy day. Still remember Aaron Hicks when he was with the Twins playing center field, and he would do that. He would try to play as shallow as he felt he could, and then if the ball was hit over his head, turn his back, run to the spot, and then look for the ball. But one day I asked him about that. We were in Chicago, and sure enough, that day, with the wind blowing from the left field foul pole to the right field foul pole, he misjudged it by about 20 feet. 1-1. Two and 1. I think the Tigers would like, and I don't think they care which one. They'd like Mikey Matuk or Jacoby Jones to take the job and run with it, but they're both kind of stuck on the same spot. They look to be accomplished defenders, as you said, but you know, you got to hit some up here, and neither one has really done that.
Jones has not. Matuk did last year.
Yeah.
109 ball games, hit 276.
But you know, the Twins have had outfielders too that have had a good year and then not been able to back it up. Drew Verhagen's had a good year for the Tigers. He's warming up.
Scouting reports, pitchers pitching them differently than they did last year. A lot of little things come into play.
Three and 2 to Matuk. Fastball. Ostadio hangs on to the foul tip. 2 down.
And Busenitz picks up a strikeout. Well, Busenitz has a good fastball.
Pretty play brought to you by Carrier.
It's a high fastball right there at 96.
Ball 1 now to Griner. And one postponement today in Baltimore. Astros were supposed to open a series there, but that game was postponed. And
Baltimore probably hopes it rains for the next 4 days there.
They've already lost 112 games.
Yeah.
But, you know, Houston's going to the playoffs, and so assuming they have a doubleheader lined up either tomorrow or Saturday, and I don't know which day it would be. But the Astros essentially don't have anything to play for. They can't catch Boston for the best overall record in the league. Cleveland can't catch them.
for the second best record in the league. And there's no National League team that can win the 100 games that they've already won. Flip to right field. Coming in is Grossman. And it's a 1-2-3-7 for Business.
Very nice lead for the Twins at 9-3, and a very nice set of awards here. The Harmon Killebrew Award winners. These are community service winners for Twins players in minor league affiliate cities. We'll start with Jake Reed, AAA Rochester, worked with Meals on Wheels and many others. Congratulations to Jake. Chris Paul, AA Chattanooga, helped out at the YMCA, also helped out with underprivileged kids. We'll head down to Tyler Wells, Fort Myers, Class A, special needs camps. Wonderful job, good season too, 10-6 with a 2.49. And David Bonalos at Class A, Cedar Rapids, another guy with Meals on Wheels, also helped out at the University of Iowa Children's Hospital. Tremendous work, all Harmon Killebrew Award winners. Way to go, gentlemen. Excellent work on and off the field in the Twins organization. Guys?
Absolutely. I'm glad we highlighted those players for doing community service work while in the minor leagues. Drew Verhagen will pitch next for the Tigers. And one minor league note for the Twins, they're going to have a new AA team next year. Chattanooga has been reconnected to the Cincinnati Reds, and the Twins will either be in Pensacola, Florida, or Amarillo, Texas next year as their AA affiliate. And the ballpark, I know, in Pensacola is tremendous, and they're building a brand new one in Amarillo. They haven't had minor league baseball in Amarillo for a while. Tyler Austin's had a good night at the plate. A pair of doubles, a pair of runs scored, and 3 driven in.
Verhagen with a good fastball, curveball, slider, changeup. In his 5th season with the Tigers.
Austin, Astudillo, and Kepler hitting for the Twins here in the 7th. Nothing wrong with that left hand on that swing.
Good moving fastball in right there to Austin.
Now swing and a miss.
Oh, a nasty curveball right there.
Time now for tonight's Coors Light refreshing finish. Williams Astudillo with a 2-run single in the 3rd and a 2-run double in the 5th.
Well, he continues to hit. A 2-run single coming in that 3rd inning. That helped make it a 5-run inning. And then the 2-run double in the 5th inning when the Twins kind of opened up the ball game with a big 4 spot and have that 9-3 lead.
And he takes up high, ball 1. Tigers, like the Twins, have run a lot of arms out on the mound this year, and Verhagen looks to be a keeper. Looks like he's improved quite a bit over the course of the season.
Watch out. Little chin music. Just getting out of the way.
Foul back. The pitch up and in reminds me of a situation that occurred today in the Yankee-Tampa Bay game. One of the Rays hitters got hit by Sabathia on a pitch that was inside a little bit, but got him across the back of the hand. And apparently in response, Astudillo didn't agree 2-2. Apparently in response, Austin Romine was hit in the shoulder and up near the head, and CC Sabathia was enraged and came out of the dugout and was restrained by Aaron Boone. Sabathia was the starting pitcher and went out the next half inning and smoked Jesus Sucre in the thigh and was immediately ejected. But he was ejected 2 innings short of reaching a inning pitched threshold that would have given him another $500,000. And it didn't seem to matter to Sabathia.
Have you seen what he makes?
That's one of the reasons it didn't matter that much. But it was more important to him, rather than pitching 2 more innings.
You have to.
He had to protect his player.
Amen.
His teammate. To left field, Stewart going back, making the catch on the edge of the track, 2 away. We'll bring up Kepler. Follow the postseason on MLB.tv for $25.99. You can watch every out-of-market regular season game and get a free subscription to MLB At Bat Premium. Blackout, other restrictions apply. Visit MLB.tv to take advantage of this limited time offer.
I think what the biggest thing that impresses me about Astudillo is that he's facing guys that he's never faced before, but he's just able to put the ball at play somehow.
And generally with the barrel of the bat.
Right.
Well, he's shown his versatility. He's played some in the infield, some in the outfield, and he can catch, so that would bode well for him in terms of being a major league player, hopefully in the Twins organization. He's not defensively the greatest catcher in the world, but he could play around, and that's what has kept Chris Herman in the game the last few years. His ability to not only catch, but play a variety of different positions in the outfield and the infield. And I think of the two, from what we've seen, Astudillo's a much better hitter than Chris Herman is.
For sure. You know, minor league numbers, they don't lie. Over almost 2,200 minor league at bats, he's a .309 hitter in the minor league. So, young man can hit.
Kepler takes a walk. And now Johnny Field, quiet night tonight after 2 home runs last night. You know, the way rosters are structured now, 25 players before September, and most teams for most of the year carrying 13 pitchers, you've got to have players that can do more than play one position. That rolls away. Kepler will stay put after the 2-out walk, ball 1.
see Johnny Field get cheated on swings like that very often. 1-1. Guess the Tigers have seen this from Verhagen all year long. Some swing and miss stuff. Opponent batting average of .229.
Yeah, played his college ball out of Vanderbilt. Pretty good pitchers coming out of that school. Nashville, Tennessee. You know, Verhagen was a starter in the minor leagues, but since he's come up, he's made a couple major league starts, but mainly out of the bullpen.
Blocked by Griner.
He's got that straight overhand curveball, but the only one he's been able to get over is the one that struck out Tyler Austin. The other ones he's missed.
Grounder to third. Candelario fires across, and that ends the Twins' 7th inning.
And he got that curveball over.
With your Mall of America's Studio Sports Update. If you're a Twins fan who believes the more the merrier, then Fox Sports North is the place for you tomorrow. That's because the White Sox and the Twins are playing a split doubleheader. The games are at 12:30 and 6:30 p.m. on Fox Sports North.
And we're looking forward to that as the baseball season winds down. Get 2 baseball games in one day.
And Zach Littell coming into the ball game. He's scheduled to start on Sunday. In the Twin notes, but maybe getting an innings worth of work here. He's making his 7th appearance. He's worked 15 1/3 innings, allowed 21 hits, 12 earned runs, 8 walks, 10 strikeouts. 3 different stints up and down this year with the Twins.
Littell hoping to have a quick inning here without any adventure. Essentially getting his bullpen as he would as a starting pitcher out of the way in the 8th inning here tonight, maybe. 1-1. Breaking ball off the plate, 2-1. Jones, Lugo, and Cosma. Cubs beat the Pirates 3-0. So they are a game ahead of the Brewers now in the National League Central. And the Tigers go to Milwaukee to close out the season. And the
Cubs have that big series at home against St. Louis. Cardinals playoff hopes flickering. Still have a chance for the second wild card. And a walk from Littell to Jones.
This copyrighted telecast presented by authority of the Minnesota Twins and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Minnesota Twins LLC. That's 7 walks for the Twins star pitching staff here.
And they're leading by 6 runs.
The Twins have taken 5 walks. A lot of free passes.
Lugo's drawn 2 of them. He's also dumped a single to right field. Again, the plan tomorrow in the split doubleheader, Joe Mauer will probably not play. At least that was Paul Molitor's hope. But Joe has expressed to Paul that he'd like to try to play both games tomorrow. One as a DH probably. Bouncer to third. Scooped by Petit.
Oh, nice play.
He's done that a couple of times tonight, getting a lot on a throw while he's running.
I mentioned earlier in the ballgame, he's a utility player that can play anywhere. He's a veteran. I made a little grab at that ball. Maybe it's going to take a little short hop. Watch kind of a swinging butt. And Petit comes in. Right there, you see him grab it. And then on the run, able to get something over to Mauer for the first out. On the play, Jones moves to second.
He's only had 55 at bats, but he's hit a little bit here, and impressively was about the only guy hitting in Rochester this year. Kept looking at the Rochester Red Wings stats, and there was only one guy who had a decent batting average there, and it was Petit. Here's Kozma. Runner at second, 1 down. Tapper and another tough play, this time by Polanco, and he'll have no play. Kozma beats out an infield hit, first and third, 1 away.
Once that ball got past the pitcher's mound, it just kind of died right there. No chance for Polanco. Kozma getting down that line very quickly. He gets his first hit. Right off the end of the bat. Looked like Polanco was thinking about barehanding it, but with the big lead, you don't want the ball to get by you.
Here's Candelario. Check swing and ball 1.
Come on now.
Two and 0. Yeah, for Littell, he'd have tomorrow off, Saturday off, and then would start the season-ending game on Sunday. Blaine Hardy getting loose in the Tiger bullpen. Check swing and a strike. Popped up short left field, and it is Polanco, or excuse me, Petit making the catch in short left for out number 2.
Good communication right there between Polanco and Petit. A lot of times that's a shortstop ball, but as Petit called Polanco off, Polanco made a quick left to get over to third base. So you see right there, Petit calling for it, field holding up for the second out.
That's the way that's supposed to work. Obviously, Petit yelled that he had it, and he caught it. 2 down. Stewart takes ball 1.
It's the way it's supposed to work. Always doesn't work that way.
strike 1-1. Leadoff walk, not what Littell wanted to do, obviously, but he hasn't given up any hard contact to this point. And if he can get the batter, he can get out of the inning. In there for a strike, 1-2.
Good breaking ball right there.
Fouled away, 94 with a fastball. Something there. We talked about Littell earlier with the incredible year he had in the one-loss category last year.
Yeah, 19-1. Not a bad year.
You win 19 games in the minor leagues. That's pretty good. Tapped, foul. Well, he backed it up with a good enough year this year to get called up here. And Twins wanted to take a look at him and get a chance to start on Sunday.
Yeah, his major league debut came here against the White Sox in a doubleheader back on June 5th. He started game 2. He ended up losing that ball game 6-3. But only 22 years old, you know, young man, got a bright future. Came over from the Yankees last year. Jaime Garcia went from the Twins to the Yankees.
In September, remembering that he really had control issues in his first 2 appearances, but in September, he's pitched 12 innings and only walked 2 guys prior to tonight. And another foul. Trying to pitch around the leadoff walk here in the 8th inning. Minkevich talking to Nick Castellanos. Wouldn't be surprised if Minkevich got interviewed for some managerial openings this year at the big league level. Down at 3-2.
I missed with a curveball right there.
I know there's going to be an opening in Toronto. Very likely going to be an opening in Baltimore. There is one in Toronto. Texas will have an opening. Runner at first goes. Pitch chopped to the right side. Forsythe digs it out and fires. Great play by Logan Forsythe to end the inning. And a scoreless 8th for Zach Littell. Fox Sports North is presented by Menards. Save big money on all your home improvement needs at Menards. And by Ram. Hurry in and get a great deal during Ram Power Days. Twins in position to win this series 2-1. Pick up win number 74 on the year. Blaine Hardy, the new Detroit pitcher, he'll start his night by pitching to Gregorio Petit.
Yeah, Blaine Hardy made 13 starts earlier this year, now in the bullpen, making his 28th appearance overall. Hardy with a fastball, not overpowering, very good curveball, hard slider, and a changeup. He's in his 5th season with the Tigers.
It has to have come as quite a shock to Tiger fans who couldn't help but be spoiled with all the great starting pitching that the Tigers had run out there in recent years. Beyond Justin Verlander, they had David Price for a while, Max Scherzer, Rick Porcello. Fly ball center field, playable for Jones. Anibal Sanchez has had a nice rebirth with the Braves this year. Twins off-season baseball camps are back and are presented by select Heartland Chevy dealers. Camps provide players an opportunity to continue developing their skills as well as prepare for tryouts and the start of a new season. 5 to 10 hours of instructions available, addressing general baseball skills taught by an experienced staff of dedicated instructors. For a full schedule and registration, visit twinsbaseball.com/training.
Yeah, they had Doug Fister too.
Yeah,
to pitch pretty well for them.
But the knock was the reason they got to the World Series twice but didn't win it. They had bullpen issues. Well, now the bullpen's the least of their concerns. They've got a lot of failed starters who are, trying to reinvent themselves as relief pitchers. But unless you've got starting pitching, the bullpen is almost a wasted commodity.
Well, because of the lack of starters, that's why they tried to start Hardy, see if he could start.
Right.
But he has always been a reliever. When he came up with the Tigers back in 2014, but never really made a lot of minor league starts.
But can you imagine Bauer with a swing and a miss, and he strikes out? And we know the Twins have struggled in recent years because they've had their own pitching problems. But can you imagine being a Tiger season ticket holder, that ball almost like a screwball coming inside?
Good changeup right there.
Imagine a Tiger season ticket holder for years. You come to the ballpark and you go, oh, Verlander's going, we're going to win. Scherzer's going to pitch tonight, we're going to win. Sanchez, David Price, all of those guys. And now, it's a complete reconstruction of their starting rotation. One of the reasons Liriano has stayed in the rotation. And he hurt himself with the ball squirted to the right side. Polanco's got a 3-hit night. Liriano left the game with a tight back. That's why he left the ball game early. A 3-hit night for Polanco. And Forsythe will have another at bat.
Anthony LaPanta just came in to say goodbye, and he's.
That's what he was saying.
Yeah.
Oh, this is his last live show.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Well, you'll be able
Wished
to
him good luck.
Be able to see his farewell performance on Twins Live here shortly, right?
Yes.
Or did he come in here to say, "I'm leaving. I'm not doing the show. You guys got to do Twins Live too."
I'm out of here.
This is Kevin Gorg's last performance.
Yes.
On Twins television this year.
Some other people too. We want to thank them.
Jack Morris's last.
Who's
we got 4 games. We got 2 games tomorrow. These guys can come back.
Be Tom and Tim, the 2 T's tomorrow.
Okay. And Audrey will be here. Barney's done. One and 2 to Logan Forsythe. Well, you and I will be here for both games tomorrow.
Yes, we will.
Are you just going to wear 1 tie or wear 2 ties?
1.
Because I usually try to bring 2 ties because I don't like wearing the same tie twice.
That's good.
Yep, pregame show tomorrow at 12:30. First game at 1 o'clock. However long it lasts, the second one will start at 7 o'clock. 2-2. And Forsythe.
Good changeup again.
Yep. A scoreless 8th. The Tigers will hit on the ninth.
Minnesota up 9-3 in the ninth. Stay with us right after this baseball game for Twins Live, presented by CenturyLink. Double trouble for Tyler Austin. 2 big doubles in the game for him, and the legend continues for baby sexy Willens Astudillo. Another multiple hit game, 4 RBIs. We'll talk to both those guys in our post-game show. We'll also head into the clubhouse, talk to Paul Molitor, get his thoughts on what should be another home win series, and big doubleheader action tomorrow, guys.
All right, Kevin, thank you for all your work this year. It's always a joy to work with such a joyful person like Kevin Gork, so we appreciate his efforts. First pitch to right field, and a nice running catch by Robbie Grossman. John Curtis has gotten the first out on his first pitch.
Adrianza over at first base, taking over for Joe Mauer. And John Curtis coming in. He worked in last night's ball game. 1 inning through 8 pitches, 5 strikes, 1-2-3 inning with a strikeout. There's the numbers on John Curtis, making his 8th relief appearance.
Well, the Twins look like they're going to win a ball game without having to use their back end of the bullpen. The Rogerses, Mays, Hildenbergers, and with 2 games coming up tomorrow, that's important.
Yes, it is.
2-0 under the circumstances. The Twins aren't dealing with a magic number or anything. It might very well play out. Certainly the hope is that Barrios will give them a lot of innings in his game, but that Twins won't use a relief pitcher twice tomorrow. 2-1. Teams are.
Well, there's 14 of them down there. Hopefully they don't have to.
Yeah, but there are a lot of them that were used here tonight, 1 inning at a time. Right at the knees. Now a fly ball to center. Kepler's under it. 2 down. And that'll bring up Mikey Mato. You know, you look at here, the Twins in late September, they're winning ball games, but what could have been here in the last 2 weeks of the season? They were walked off twice in Oakland, and Oakland obviously
the better team, but if the Twins had scored another run in either one of those games, they'd have had to win there. They had the game here 2 nights ago, right where they wanted it, 1-0, and then Trevor Hildenberger had a tough 8th inning, and the Tigers kind of stole that one late from the Twins, but with a little more efficiency offensively and out of the bullpen, we'll be talking about a long winning streak here at the end of the season. 2-0 to Matuk. And now 2-1.
I think that got Asadillo right there. Let's see.
The follow through on the bat. And under Wendelstedt kicking some non-existent dirt off of home plate. Not sure where that got him. Take another look.
Well, the pitch was a fastball in, and watch Matuk. See the
back of the hand.
Yep.
Two and two.
Announced crowd here tonight, 22,342. I think a lot of them left.
And Matuk keeps the game alive and entertains those who are still here.
Matuk gets his first hit.
Grayson Greiner will bat. Vikings lost 38-31. And the Twins hope to win here tonight 9-3. Breaking ball over, strike one. Takes off towards second base, and the pitch lifted foul. Two strikes to Greiner. And Matuk lightly jogs to second base. Defensive indifference getting him there. Curtis throwing a lot of breaking balls, and he has a pretty uneventful 9th inning.
A good win for the Twins here tonight, down 3-0, and then a couple multi-run innings, 5 in the 3rd and 4 in the 5th.
And so the Twins, Anthony, have now 74 wins, 84 losses, and they hope to finish the schedule this year with